warmest Pacific greetings. Thank you for gracing us for a very special press conference with our special guests that we have here today. But before we start, we will begin with a prayer. I'll invite up our Naku if you can please lead us in our opening prayer.
Tau le umole fia para na whaatai o tamatare i tai au a tō waia do soa le lao fo na whai o lau fio ki lau langi mo tamata ma tō talo ko ma tō pospoto o risi fo fua me taua a mare ki mai lau fio ko tui ma tō i me oma a fo i tau ko le a whaatara no e na a wina mai ro nganga te tō ro i a te kwa tō le a matiu te rene yaso lo toi o li tia lau fio mani ai me oma Amangalo matou semo matou sala wala tu Yesu la matou talo amen.
I would like to officially welcome our special guests here in the Digital headquarters. Of course, our incredibly talented, the man himself, son of the Pacific and a pioneer in Pasifika music, Josh Tatofi. Can we please give him a big round of applause? I'd also like to welcome his amazingly talented band, our special guest artist, ART. Thank you for being here. And of course, our Pacific Cast team who has made this South Pacific tour all possible. Thank you to Sel Anthony for having us host this press conference at the Digital headquarters. And Samoa is very blessed to be on the list for your South Pacific tour. So thank you for stopping by in the beautiful island of Samoa. We are very looking forward to your concert this Saturday, celebrating all there is to be proud as a Pacific Islander, and also uniting our people through music, which you say is the language of the soul. So I'm really looking forward to that as well. Before we get into our discussion, I'd like to take a moment to introduce Josh Tatofi. Josh has captivated audiences around the world, especially within our Pacific region, with his vocals, his lyrics, and the ability to bring the Pacific together. Of course, we know he sings in various Pacific languages, namely Hawaiian, Tongan, and one of his latest tracks in Mana Samoa. I understand the gift runs in the family as a son of Tiwaini Tatofi, a founding member of the local island music group Kapena. So we say Whaftai Josh for preserving and sharing our Pacific cultures through music, and we are looking forward to the discussion today. Before we begin our discussion, I'd like to ask each of our panelists and our special guests if we can just pass the mic around just to introduce your name, your cultural background, and your role in the tour and the concert on Saturday. If I can begin on my right.
Talofa, my name is Travis Kapa. I am Maori, Hawaiian, Samoan. I am Josh's right side of the band, guitarist. Was born in Hawaii, grew up most of my youth in New Zealand, and then finished it back in Hawaii. And I've been there ever since. Yeah, it's an honor to be here.
Hello everybody, my name is Lope, born and raised here in Upolu, and I'm from Malifa, and grew up in American Samoa for a little bit of time, and then I moved to Los Angeles until I moved to Hawaii, where I reside now. I am Josh's left side, lead guitarist, model / philanthropist. Thank you very much.
Hello, my people. I am Josh Tatofi, Tongan, Samoan, German. I have lineage that goes to Vaini Tonga, Raitoni Samoa, American Samoa. I sing Hawaiian music. I love Asian food. I speak written English. I like to do yoga on Saturday, pancakes on Sunday. And we're just so glad to be here in the beautiful islands of Samoa. I primarily was born and raised in the island of Honolulu, the main island, but I've also lived on the island of Maui and Hilo. And yeah, I'd like to give it this microphone to my grandpa's oldest brother,
Hello everyone, my name is Tatofi, and I am from this company, Pacificast. Currently the CEO for Pacificast Global, and it's such an honor for us to be here and partner with not only the son of the Pacific, but one of, if not the greatest Pacific artist currently touring all over the world right now. And to I've just been nice one just for today. But as part of what we're doing here is we're history creating. First time, I know our beloved islands would love to always have prominent artists come to the islands. It's not something that happens as often. But what Josh is allowing in this tour is to, if it's pretty much if it's good enough for Josh, it's good enough for anyone else, to be completely honest. So to help break that mold and make it more possible and more realistic, and validates anyone to come through here. So we're truly grateful. It's more than what he does on stage, but everything else that he does around. So truly grateful to be here and celebrating creating history with everyone here. Let's say love.
I can't hold it, you.
If I may please invite ART to come up and just introduce yourself as well, please.
Maloney. So my name is Anastasia. I am the A in ART. I was born here in Upolu and grew up majority of my life in New Zealand. And yeah.
Hello everyone, my name is Tirisa Fomai. I was born in New Zealand, but I am Samoan, and yeah, I've been with these two for 10 plus years.
Talohani, my name is Rosetta Lope. I'm from the island nation of Tokelau. I'm born and raised in Porirua, Wellington, with these two beautiful ladies. I just want to say thank you to Pacificast, to Josh Tatofi and your team for having us on board. It is an absolute honor to learn from you and to be a part of this monumental talk.
I'm very honored to be amongst all of our special guests. I think we'll get into our questions. And my first question is for Josh. I understand that you had the opportunity to visit the head of state schools yesterday and Mapu Famalele, our elders, during your stay here. Can you please share with us how Samoa has been so far and what those experiences yesterday meant to you?
That meant everything for us to go visit the head of state. So much thankful to him and his family for having us and fitting us in their busy schedule. One of the best things about these tours is that we kind of get to meet the head of states of all the countries that we get to go and visit, and I've noticed that they all have the same goal morally, is to make sure that we keep the culture strong, tradition strong, and the most important, our faith in God strong as well. And I think that's like the foundation of the whole South Pacific, and I think that's what makes our people the most special, because culturally and religiously we're strong on both pillars, and I feel like as long as those two foundations are strong, the rest of the house will be built correctly. So just going to the head of state here in Samoa kind of confirmed that what we are doing musically and what he is doing politically and religiously on the island of Samoa, I think what we're doing with our craft is what we're supposed to be doing. Through music, because that's our strong suit. That's what we were pushing. So in a sense, what they're pushing as the head of state, we are also pushing through musically, because this is our calling to push. And it was so nice. That was my first time there. I didn't realize not a lot of people go there, or allowed, I guess you could say. But to have, one of the best things is after we took pictures with the head of state, we were about to leave, and he said, "Sit down so we can have tea." And I was like, "Okay." And we did. We had a cup of tea and we talked stories, and it was such a beautiful moment. So we're super thankful to be here and have that moment with him.
Thank you, Josh. Yeah, I can imagine a lot of the kids yesterday that met you were feeling very inspired. I know music is a part of a lot of our families as we grow up. So my next question to our band and Josh as well is, for those kids who are wanting to pursue careers in music, can you share a little bit about your journey? Where did that seed of inspiration for music begin? And do you have any words of encouragement for our youth of Samoa who might want to pursue this as a career in their life?
Yes. Two things that I still keep till today from learning from my dad and some of my mentors throughout the years is just respect and humility. As long as you have that, it'll take you far. I mean, like, never did I ever imagine that this would be a part of my life, along with being with Josh and Peppa, and it's happening. And as long as you keep those two things with you throughout your life and your journey, I think not even just music, anything in life, respect and humility can take you a long way.
Took the words out of my mouth, Travis. Thank you. To be honest, Travis is right at the same time. And because he's the reason why we're here in the first place. We praise his name every day. And for our gifts that he's gifted us, just do the best of your ability and represent your people, where you're from, and at the same time have fun, and like Travis said, I never thought I would be here as well, and it wasn't for a call from Monroe for me to move down from Los Angeles to Hawaii. Changed my life, and it's been great, and meet a lot of great people around the world in that same time. Thank you. With my tubas, I just want to add on to what Travis said, and to add on to what Beppo said. The music industry is not for everyone. It's to be completely honest, I wish I could say it's a promising career, but it isn't. It's not like becoming a lawyer or a doctor where they literally give you a table of contents to go through in order to be in this position. But for music, and especially the position that we're in, it's purely because of the grace of God. To be honest, you can do all the work to get here. You can write the songs. You can have the voice, but if your goals and your path isn't lining up with what God has for you, it's not going to work out, really. But if I could give any words to the kids for encouragement, if it feels right, then that's what you should do. And what I mean by feels right is it means it runs parallel with your morality, with your family, with your upbringing. I'm not saying just go against everything your parents taught you and go after it. It's one of those things where you just have to make a really good educational guess, and that runs, again, parallel with your beliefs and your family. Because one of the things that I like to say is it's easy to be a successful musician. It's harder to be a Polynesian one, because out in the world outside of Polynesia, they just worry about themselves. They make music and they go tour and whatever. Well, for us, we're the only kind of people that if I go perform here, Mom, is that okay? Dad, is that good? And then you perform. That's the first people you call. Did you guys like the performance? Dad, Mom? But we always seek them for approval, and I feel like it's such a beautiful thing, but at the same time, it's more of a difficult one because
being Polynesian in any career is the only path. Being Polynesian and a businessman is we're the only type of people that we don't start by ourselves. We literally start with everybody at the same time, which is harder. But as you can see, the fruits of labor, if it runs parallel with your faith, I feel like anything will go well. Thank you.
Thank you. I think you really touched on something that's really important to Samoa, the whole Pacific, the importance of doing things as a collective. We never walk alone, we walk with many. That leads to my next question about connection to culture, which I know is very paramount in your music. How do you blend, or what has been the journey with using your culture in your music, but also trying to make it modern and contemporary so that it relates to young people? Hopefully that makes sense. So what's your journey been with culture and contemporary, and how does that come through in your music?
I think with culture and music and everything that we do, it has everything to do with upbringing. If you're raised in a culture right home, you'll naturally make culture right decisions. I don't wake up and go, man, what is the best thing I can do for the Tongan community, for the Samoan community? I feel like if you have the right morals growing up and raised correctly, I feel like the decisions that you make unconsciously is going to be for the betterment of the culture anyway. So I feel like that's what we all have in common as far as me and my team. I do want to say I probably do have like the best keyboardists and pianists and guitar players and backup vocals and Team Pacific cast, but I think what the main foundation is that we were all raised right. So I feel like if you're raised right, you can't do wrong. Thank you.
Thank you. And going to the band, how has it been working in this team with Josh? And also, can you share how the recent tour in American Samoa was? What can we expect this Saturday? Will it be the same? Is there something different? But what has your journey been so far in the South Pacific tour?
Make us look good, guys.
The good thing about us three is that we knew each other before this this journey that we're on today. So we all can kind of keep each other in check when needed. But the fact that we knew each other before this journey that we're on today is how we started, but then it's also a plus for things that are happening in our lives today. As for Saturday, for myself, I'm just excited to be here. I've never been to Samoa, so I'm just excited to perform for everyone here in Samoa. It was really good in American Samoa, performing for everybody in Pango, but to continue this South Pacific tour, it's just as exciting as it is here, as it will be in Tonga next week, and then Australia, and then ending off in New Zealand. So expect good songs, expect to have fun, and don't hold back when you hear your favorite song. Thank you.
All right. I can say one thing. Touring with our brothers here, we eat very well. Thank you, which is a problem because if you're not disciplined in your diet. But our first show in American Samoa was amazing. I would say with our team is top notch, man. It's amazing. It's so easy just to travel around, just to communicate with everybody, being on time. Everyone's everyone's on time. What's the word?
Not late.
Yeah, not late. Thank you. And but I would say the first show in American Samoa was amazing, and there was such a big response with so many people, about 4,000 people, close to 5,000. But just traveling with a team is like pretty much traveling with your brothers. There's nothing better than traveling with your family, and just having a great time. And it's such a blessing because we get to do what we love to do with the people that we love to see. And the music that we love to play. There's nothing better than having that feeling. So it's like it's a family trip. How's it feel to play with you?
It feels good.
Thank you for that. Pacific Cast, is there any key info that someone needs to know for Saturday? I understand we have our guest performers, ART, performing. I might pass the mic to you for any important information that you might want to share about Saturday.
Yes, we're looking forward to it. The multi-purpose theme, Kumai Mako, on the Saturday night. Doors open at 5 p.m. and I think formalities kick off a little bit after that time. I understand there's still a few tickets available. I know that the team had to print off some more, and we've worked on things expanding the area to allow more tickets and allow more people in, so I appreciate the team here on the ground for making that happen. I understand there's still tickets available from Eveni and Radio Polynesia, and you can check out our website for more information. We also want to take this opportunity as well to thank our media partners, Digicel. Really appreciate the support. We actually approached Digicel probably later in the piece than we would have liked, but in saying that, they came on board and wanted to support and understand that we both have a true understanding about wanting to bring Pasifika excellence to not only to Samoa but all the islands. So really appreciate Anthony and the team for supporting this project, this plan. It's, once again, I said before, this is history creating. No other artist has done a full, complete South Pacific tour, starting from Samoa, Tonga, Australia, New Zealand, and then finally ends in Fiji with a very, very special event. So it's something that's never been done before, but that's what we are really excited and what we want to always empower our people through. Pacific Cast being an agency about endorsing great stuff, and as you know, people have this sort of stigma, which I believe shouldn't be there, like, oh, people don't want to come, even people of their own don't want to come to some, for whatever reason, because of limited resources or what have you. But bringing the likes of Josh Tatofi to our beautiful islands tells the world that, well, Samoa, the Pacific Islands are a great place to come and experience and share the talent, get immersed in the culture, but most importantly, all the amazing diasporas of Samoa people and the other Pacific Islands alone all can see and want to connect back home. And I guess in essence of what Josh represents, what Pacific Cast represents, all our partners represent, is all about culture being a key currency in terms of allowing us to do absolutely anything. So like Digicel's tagline, we're better together. So I really continue to want to repeat these things, and I know we're going to be celebrating a lot on Saturday and the remaining cities on this tour. So that's also the media. If you guys need like tickets, just go to the website. Thank you very much.
Thank you for that. Yes, it really shows from the public's perspective the importance of culture in your tour, and thank you for coming to our people and bringing the music to our people. I know a lot of artists don't make the time to come to our islands and share and serve directly with our people, so thank you very much. Before I hand it over to maybe 2 questions from our media, if there are any, I would just like to ask Josh if you can release any of the songs that you might be playing on Saturday, like just one, and maybe why that song is so special to you.
I can name a few songs that we're playing on Saturday. We'll be playing songs like Storms Never Last, I'm Gonna Love You, Perfect to Me, Landslide, Oh One, and of course the latest song, Le Tuna Oe, is probably the most one that we're looking forward to the most. As far as new music, usually you release a song and then you play it a few times before you play it in front of thousands. But that song is, I think, about 4 weeks old, 5 weeks old, and the very first time we've ever performed it was in front of thousands. So that song has made a very big impact, not only just locally, but in the industry, just for ourselves as well. Every song is always kind of a new experience, and I'm glad that this song is making a great impact throughout the South Pacific. So we're really excited just to play all the songs.
Thank you. I might take this time just to ask if any of our media have questions for Josh, the band.
Good afternoon. I'm Sarafina from the Samoa Observer newspaper. Just want to ask Josh, what role do you think music plays in preserving and promoting our Polynesian culture, not only in the South Pacific but to the rest of the world? And are there any local artists who have influenced you in your career? Yeah, thank you.
How big of an impact does music play in our culture? Probably one of the biggest. I feel like song music is probably one of the biggest throughout the whole South Pacific. I feel like it's the haunting melodies that we all remember. We do remember sayings and passages, but I feel like music and dance is what we just recently had a FestPac in Hawaii, and the biggest thing that people wanted to see was specifically music and dance. It's probably one of the biggest things next to probably the food of the culture, but it's music and dance that I feel like that preserves it the most, because once the oldest person in your family teaches the youngest person in your family how to sing that song now just gained another 20 years of life. And I feel like for me, I feel like the easiest way to remember and even to learn about the culture is through music, because there's a lot of older songs that speak of the older history that we get to sing today, and our past loved ones get to bring that down generation by generation through music. And even if it's not something that you sit down and you sing to your child, even if it's something that you hum with a child, they tend to remember that way better than just specific words. So when it comes to music, I feel like it plays, if not second, but probably the most important role in our culture. Yeah, thank you. Oh, sorry, artists. There's a couple of them that I grew up listening to, so I have to give a big shout out to New Zealand's own Addis and Aradna. For people like me, an R&B singer, there wasn't really heavy R&B growing up. We did have traditional love songs, and hence why we took the route of Le Tunoe, because that was kind of like the old school R&B, right? Like that's what the old school R&B was kind of like the 5-star band and when the drums came in. But for me, R&B, Polynesian music was around even the Jets. The Jets had a big role as well as far as the R&B on a more global scale. But as far as locally, that was more tangible for us. That we felt like this was our family singing, was definitely the folks of Addis and Arada. They played a really big role in just pioneering R&B music in the South Pacific Islands. Thank you.
Do you have a question here, please? Just please, if you could share with us, if you could walk us through your songwriting process, especially how you translate emotions into lyrics, please.
So I've learned, because I'm a true student of the art of songwriting. There isn't any specific way I tend to write. What I do know is that on every song, whether it be a Hawaiian song, a Tongan song, a Samoan song, I tend to write the melody first. And I feel like that's important to me, especially for the people that don't speak the language, whether it be in Hawaiian, Tongan, or Samoan. or English for that matter. I feel like the melody is what makes you want to go and see what the words is about. So, for instance, because the latest song is Letu no Oe, I actually had great pleasure on writing this song with my brother Tana's wife here, Helen Tupai, and she's a great lyricist, great conductor as well, great, just musically inclined all around. And because I knew her on a more personal level, working with her for the Samoan language on the translation was real easy. But for the Letu no Oe, I don't know, something, when I grew up, I felt like all Polynesian songs were sad. I don't know why. I just felt like all of them were sad. Or maybe that was just me always around the guys drinking kava all the time, and all they sang was sad songs. So for me, it was nostalgic for me to write a sad song. But I rarely write sad songs because I feel like my voice is sad already. My late grandpa that passed away, when I grew up, he literally told me, "You have a perfect voice for funerals." And I never understood, but I think I never understood what he was trying to say. Maybe it was because like heartfelt. I don't know. I'm just gonna go with heartfelt because that's kind of depressing. But I think what he was trying to say is just the depth of my voice. Just I feel like lingered the best around sad songs. So I came up with the melody first on Letu no Oe, and then came the words. But I specifically wrote the words not as poetic because I knew once Helen translated, it was gonna turn it into poetry on its own. So I went with a more literal words, so that way she could turn the words into a more dramatic meaning poetically. And what I'm learning through the South Pacific is that we are all poetically connected through the translations, whether it be Hawaiian, Tongan, Samoan. Because, for instance, right, one of my favorite Tongan songs, poetically is like, when it's translated, it's like, who are you with? Are you with someone? Will you please let me know if you find someone else? But in the exact translation is, who's that guy? Who's that guy? Who's that guy are you sitting next to? Sounds kind of crazy, actually. So, but when you translate it to Tongan, it comes out more poetically. So, I mean, every song kind of has its own translation, but I do know through the native tongue of the South Pacific Islands, it's probably better to write it in the more literal English, because once it translates out, it'll come out like Shakespeare, basically. So, but the foundation of all my songs are definitely through melody first, and then whatever comes after that, it kind of just happens organically. Thank you.
So what are some of the challenges you face in your career, and how have you overcome those challenges?
Sorry?
What are some of the challenges you have come across in your career, and how have you overcome those challenges, please?
Oh yeah, thank you for the question. I'm going to be completely honest with this one. The most challenging thing about being a Pacific Islander and being a musician is things like Falalavalave. Because to be honest, guys, I'm gonna be completely honest, it's not gonna change. I'm telling you right now, it's not gonna change. So one of the hardest thing about being Pacific is that if you go do a show, your family think you're rich, and then your neighbor think you're richer. So, but you came home with nothing, and that is probably a continuous challenge. But in all honesty, what I used to vent about is now I'm just laughing about it, because honestly, guys, the only way to do this successful career and make sure all your falalaves are taken care of is to make more money. So there is no around that. Don't fight it. It's gonna happen. Give Caesar to Caesar his pay. So that's a consistent. But all jokes aside, that is a consistent thing that all Pacific Islanders are always going to go through, because our parents and our grandparents, they come from a way more humble beginning than us. So if they see $1, it's like, well, at least you have $1. I only had a stick and a rock. So it's like, okay, All right, you have a stick in the rock, I have $1, now we're gonna have to split this to 75 cents. Make the most. But I also wanted to bring that topic up because it's not a topic that we talk about, especially for the Pacific American lifestyle, right? The first thing happens when we live in America is our family back here is like, hey, I know you live in America, so you must be rich. But out there is more expensive than over here. So anyways, going back to your question, the balance of what we have to take care of with our dreams, goals, aspirations, and what we have to take care at home. I'm sorry to tell you, you have to do both. And there's a beautiful thing about doing both is because this side will always keep this side humble, 100%. If you just go with this one and be like, you know what, I'm just gonna leave all these things, you're gonna go live maybe a more richer life, but it won't be wholesome, I promise. Something about having a consistent struggle, fear kind of feeling in your career, I feel like is healthy. I feel like it should be not to where you stress, but to a point to where you have to know why you're doing this in the first place. And it was to represent your family, to take care of the things you have to take care of. And I feel like that's just, I guess struggle wouldn't be the best word, but it just, I guess motivation. If you change the word struggle to motivation, then we'll be motivated every day. Yeah, thank you.
Can I ask one more question, please?
Yeah.
Are there any new projects or songs you're working on during this tour that your fans can look forward to?
Yeah, at the end of this tour, I'm actually recording a song in Wellington. Can I say that? Cool. Yeah, I'm working on a song in Wellington with a special orchestra and choir, and that's gonna be a good one. So I'm like writing it as I go. And for some reason, it's getting sadder and sadder, so I don't know why that's happening. But yeah, but definitely new music. Always, I'm always working on something.
Is it gonna be in Samoan?
It might be. You know, I don't really know. A lot of these songs, I think a lot of songwriters, they come up with the title first. And I honestly, as cliche as it may sound, after I make the melody, I feel like it literally tells me what it's supposed to be in. You know, some melodies hit harder in English. Some of them hit harder in Samoan. Some of them hit harder in Tongan. I don't really know what the outcome is. Even with Hawaiian music, some melodies just sound better. And what I'm learning through these melodies, that like in Tongan words, there's a lot of K's in there. And some songs sound better with the K's in there, and some of them sound better with the Ta's in there. And then with Hawaiian music, there's a lot of the more elongated vowels and not so much apostrophes everywhere. So it's a whole thought process. I don't really know what the ending result's gonna be until it's finished. So
Thank you.
yeah,
Looking forward to it.
thank you.
Thank you for your questions, and thank you, Josh, for your sharing and demonstrating the importance of storytelling. And I think in your other answer, you really touched on how our traditions is oral storytelling, and that was through music and dance and all of our creative arts. So thank you for reminding Samoa and all the countries that you will be visiting the importance of music. I think we might wrap up now, so I'd just like to say thank you to Josh, your band, our special guests, and of course the Pacific Cast team for making this all possible and sharing stories with our Pacific Islands. I'd also like to say heartfelt thanks to everyone here today, especially our media, for covering these stories. And we are really looking forward to Saturday and everything that will unfold on Saturday. So thank you for, again, gracing the shores of Samoa, and you are always welcome anytime. I wish you a blessed day and hope to see you all again soon. So if we're my